look fine. It's close. Oh, you have a real camera?
Yeah.
Bam,
I
we're
figured out
live.
how to hook it up.
Wow. Hola, amigos.
Look who it is.
Loud.
Oh, there he is. Oh, sorry.
Hi.
Hey.
Scratch the shit on my face.
Speaking of Lao Tzu, Sun Tzu and Robert Greene book at the top of the reading list. You should treat people the way you want to be treated, right? I was telling my, as I approached this show today, I was like, I should treat people the way I would want to be treated.
Golden rule, right?
Is that what that one is?
That's what I've heard.
Fit Aid. I think the sponsorship's over, right?
Tomorrow.
Oh.
So get it now. Get it now. 40% off.
40% off. Aaron, the CEO over there, sent me 2 cases to take the NorCal Classic. I'm so excited.
Oh, awesome.
Caleb, what's up?
Hey.
Guys, if you're not a regular listener to this show is probably not for you. Like, I don't recognize this dude's name.
Harold? You don't recognize old Harold?
You recognize Harold?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Harold. That sucks. Lampshade. I don't recognize Lampshade, but they said second. But listen, if you're not a regular, I'm telling you right now, this show is not for you. Oh, Kels. Hi. I'm serious. I'm a reggie. Oh, yeah, there's my therapist.
Oh.
Just enough cleavage to keep me engaged.
To keep you sane.
Professional.
To keep me, just enough to keep me professional. We stay on topic. Nice hat, Sevi. Thank you. I love you. Why, Sevi? Just cause this one's not for you. This is just the butt buddies. Like those of us who've gotten drunk and showered together, shit like that. This isn't. Yeah, let's go. Let's fucking go. I know. We will. We're gonna get there.
I'm not gonna tell anybody about that.
Yeah. You hey, oh sorry. Okay, Harold. I've been here since the beginning, just don't comment. All right, fine. All right. Good enough. All right.
I told you.
All right.
Wow.
All right. All right. Wanna love. There you are. All right. Nice.
I want to love.
Nice yamlitos. Jackson, what are you? Are you regular? I don't recognize you, buddy. I'm telling you, this show is not for non-regulars. I'm not joking. I mean, I'm not saying you can't be here. I'm just saying you don't want to be here. I'm looking out for your best interest. Richard. I'm just telling you. Chris, what's up, dude? Sarah, hey. Excuse me, Daniel, hi. The interview needed a naked Taylor Self wearing a MAGA hat and riding a bald eagle to go streaking across the screen just to add a touch of freedom.
Wow.
I can picture it now. Beautiful.
I would like to ask you guys a question. Would you like to go first, Mr. Would you like to go first, Mr. Souza?
Sure. Hit me.
Why did sorry. Why did I forgot to send Bill a link. Why did they post the demands? Why did Brent post the demands publicly on Instagram?
Probably to summon the crowd opinion. That's what I would presume.
He wanted to put it in the court of public opinion. Is that what it is?
Yeah. I mean, I think that when you have, like, if you watch Hiller's video, the guy that was breaking it down there basically said, like, people with large followings that had the minority of the opinion from what was reported were just really loud and then basically got the whole entire crowd and the mob on their side. And so that's what I think that was about a little bit.
If I wanted my on the other end of the spectrum, if I wanted to know if my wife wanted me on the way home to pick up hamburger meat, I wouldn't put it on Instagram. You know what I mean? I would text her. I would say, "Hey babe, do you want me to pick up some hamburger meat?" What's up, Lucky Camera Straps? Reporting for duty. Good to see you, Bill Grundler. Good to see you.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you did that, then she could be like, or you can be like, "Look, she didn't even bring it home." And now you can hold up her wrongdoing to the crowd, right? So it kind of forces CrossFit's opinion, options a little bit, because if they don't fire Dave, and they knew that was a demand, then they could say, look, we had demanded change, nothing happened. We did it publicly. You guys saw it, and they don't care.
Why do you
Right?
think? God, I wish I could get you out from behind the dick pump. Caleb, why do you think they? Why do you think? So you put Caleb behind the dick pump?
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
I did it. I put myself there.
Oh, Caleb, what a humble man.
I can adjust myself.
Service for your country and service for the podcast. Oh, look, yeah,
Yeah.
he adjusted.
Thank you.
I do what I
Wow,
can.
what a dude.
Don't let
Right?
any of
Doesn't
that
it-
dick pump drip on you, Caleb.
Doesn't it kind of like force?
We need some drops coming from it.
But doesn't it kind of force CrossFit's hand a little bit?
So you think that was the tactic? Caleb,
from
why
the
do you
outside looking
why
in,
do you
yeah.
think they would post the demands publicly?
I think it was kind of I feel like it was a poor attempt at like unmasking maybe the frustration that they had with dealing with him over the years, maybe. Like, I mean, I say dealing with him by just talking to the games team, I guess, and they were just like, yeah, we're frustrated now.
One of their mantras is that we're not getting a response for CrossFit, and you think that this is like, okay, we haven't. I think even Fikowski said it today. We're done talking, and we've moved to the next level of this.
Right. It was just like a I don't want. It's not. I think it's pretty poorly laid out.
But it's
request.
to rally support from the community. At best,
Right.
at worst, it's to rally the mob. And right, in the best couching of it, it's to rally support of the community. And the worst, it's to rally the mob.
And I would probably say that was probably the intent, is to rally the community, not necessarily the mob. Maybe I misspoke at that. Like, I think that their intent was to put like public light on it, so that way they're like, hey guys, we've been doing this behind closed doors. There's been no change. Now we're showing you, here's our demands. And then that way this forces CrossFit's hand because we put it on the public display.
But the problem with that is, let me push back on that, is if you ask someone to be fired, the demand's pretty mobby already, right? It's not like, hey, we demand that the games be moved to winter. It's, hey, this guy who's been there, who created the sport, we want him fucking gone.
Right. And I think if you have claims like that, then you should probably provide some evidence as to why you have those claims. Like, it should be concrete.
Yeah, they provided no evidence, and they got like people like saying that we're biased or that he should be hung already. It's fucking nuts, and they provided no claims. Bill, do you have any thoughts on why they posted it?
Yeah, I think that, and Brent said it. He's like, whether he did or he didn't, or they did or they didn't earlier, and how long this has been going on, and how many times they've been shut down or whatever. His wording was, we tried it the nice way, and now we had to go aggressive. And the thing was that, like, I don't know what the levels were and how many times they tried or how many times they got shut down. So I don't know necessarily the level of frustration that they maybe had.
Right.
But like, this to me is like they went all in on this one.
Nuclear.
Because if you're gonna pull those cards, and that's what I was saying last night was the risk to reward ratio on that play.
Yeah.
Like, either you totally win or you lose. You don't just lose the PFAA power. Like, now Brent looks like an idiot, and everyone that's been standing up now looks like like everything drops. Like, the whole floor gets pulled out. So, I mean, I understand why they did what they did, but the thing is that they keep saying that they've had years and years and years and years and years of all of these incidents that have happened, and they've been just tapped on the head. Well, okay, cool. I hear that, but give me something. And you can't keep saying, well, they aren't our stories to tell. Like, okay, fine. Don't use the name.
Or you're afraid because there'll be some sort of retribution. Today he said that you won't get invited to be on a Road to the Games episode, which they haven't done in years anyway, or an open announcement.
Right. I don't. If that's what you're worried about standing up, then I don't think you have a whole lot to be worried about.
Right.
But what happens is, I think that, like, the group, the PFAA, since they went all in, depending what happens, depending how it plays out, like, if they don't get the change that they want. Like, let's say Dave doesn't get hung, Dave doesn't get cut. And I almost kind of think that like they aren't really expecting that. I mean, the way he was talking was, it was like, yeah, we said that, but you know, I guess we'll have to kind of see what happens, because if they don't, then it's on them and no one's going to like them anymore. And it's like, well, maybe not. Maybe you have athletes that still want to play and they're going to be like, I think Dave's cool, because everybody wanted Dave in there anyway, right? All the athletes wanted Dave in there. All the athletes wanted Dave in their programming. All the athletes wanted the games of before to say to pull him out, like he's the one that wholeheartedly, and I mean, they're talking over the last 4 years or so, and that was a great point. Man, Peter brought up some great points, dude, about like, okay, the last 4 years, well, Dave hasn't even really been there. It hasn't been him. It's been Boz, it's been Rosa, it's been all these other people, and now you're pulling it on him. Well, it was from before, so we're
the whole thing is abstract. The whole thing is so abstract.
In the same realm to me.
When people, so here's the thing. During Floyd 19, people were posting, "I'm out." The implication wasn't that you were demanding Greg to step down. It's like, "Hey, I'm out." And so they took it one step further than what they did here today.
Right.
The demands. They're demanding Dave pulls down, and then it's a poker game, right? Those people, the people out there who posted it, I don't know who. I can only think of two off top, or three, like Annie, Katrin, Noah, people like that. They actually posted, "I'm out," I think.
Yep.
And that's saying I'm done. I'm done with CrossFit. And so that's cool, and that's their prerogative, right?
Totally.
And it's cool that it's their prerogative to make these demands. I just want to be crazy clear that when someone wrote in Hiller's comments, and I'll get this, Hiller, you're not the one to adjudicate this, make any decisions. And the thing is we are all now able to make decisions. They gave this to the court of public opinion by posting it publicly. We are now all invited. You are all invited to discuss it. And there'll be some retard comments like, "Hiller, why are you on CrossFit's side?" And you're like, Hiller's not on CrossFit's side. He denounced James Sprague as the fucking champion. He said he would have never gone forward with the games. And he says he fucking hate what happened and how going forward with the games was divisive to the whole community. Those are his three fucking most hardcore stances.
Mm-hmm.
So people say retarded shit like that, but they have that right because they put these demands in the court of public opinion. We wouldn't even be doing this show if they didn't. We wouldn't even have this soap opera. I'd be playing Nerf gun still with the boys. Caleb be putting armor all on his RV wheels.
That's right.
I thought it was
my gut hanging out.
Am I right? Do you think I'm wrong? I just want to start with some truth before we get off into the fucking vapor.
It's out there, and so because it's out there, everyone's allowed to now talk about it. You're right, 100%.
Bill is so hot. I got my Trump hat on.
No,
they're playing the game Castro invented, and now they're wanting him out. So it's gone into the court of public opinion, and the people spoke, and the pundits spoke. And there's too many people watching this show right now, guys. I'm telling you, this show is not for everyone.
But it's for anyone.
Oh,
dude, that was good. That was good.
Facts. Always the facts from Souza. Okay, so they post that. Let me see. Jeremy World, this is your friend who has played poker a couple times, that you bring poker night with your seasoned friends and they go all in every other hand. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Not only does it put it up to public opinion, which is part of the intent when you post it like that, but also too, they're putting their credibility at stake.
Right.
If they get trampled over through this and they're like, "Yeah, dude, we see your demands and whatever, screw you guys." And what's happening now as well is now that they're being hard pressed for specifics and what exactly they want to happen and what's the optimal outcome for them and everything else. If they don't have that, they didn't plan that all the way through, that again is diminishing credibility. So you have it on two ways, right? We're like, hey, now you got your public spot. Here it is. Say what you're going to say. Give us what you're going to give us. And now we don't have anything for you. It's like, oh, shit. On top of that, CrossFit's going to just steamroll those demands. And it takes away all authority that you have.
one of the greatest in the softest lines that Peter brought in through that whole interview was when he said, okay, you made your demand, you have all this, you're taking your hard stance, but what's your minimum line that you're willing to go? Like what is the, okay, they didn't do all this, they didn't do this, but if they get to here, we'll be all right. There was no answer to that. None. Not even like we would think something like that. Like it was nothing. It was like, well, we just have to kind of wait and see, I guess.
Or even, hey, we're not going to play our hand on this show.
Or it's like, hey, screw you guys. It's all or nothing. If they don't do it, then we're driving past that. There were so many good comments. Even like Pat's. Okay, if CrossFit lets it go and they cut this whole thing out, then the CrossFit Games athletes, the CrossFit will still go on. The games will still happen. Wow, that's a pretty cocky attitude. Like, how do you know that? How do you know that? I mean, Rogue and CrossFit are pretty tight. I can't see Rogue all of a sudden going, okay, well, you flipped off CrossFit and now you think you're going to play in our game? Like, maybe we don't want you in our backyard. I don't know.
Yeah, you're going to start complaining about Rogue next?
Then they're all going to be at like the IF3 and
that is the interesting thing. There is a place for them to go and be professional athletes. There is a place for them.
Grid.
And none of them do that one.
I think
that one.
Yeah, and it's not subsidized by the affiliates. I think they are okay with it, Souza, because they are doing it for the next generation, not for themselves. The problem is we don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing.
Besides making demands, we don't know. And for some reason, people keep, not a lot of people, but a few people keep writing in the comments that the show is biased. It's like, hey, I text my friends today and I said, fuck, I'm so bummed. And these guys are all on the thread. And I said, I really wish Pat and Brent would have come prepared because I was really hoping they would have some strong points so we could put this thing fucking to rest. And instead, instead the waters got so fucking muddied. Graciano, give me a second. I want to play this clip for you guys quick. This is I think this is a theme that they've been driving home. See if you can take something away from it. The clip's a little long, but bear with me here. I think it's an important one. It's about a minute, 2 minutes long. Here we go.
Sort of split or arguments. I think maybe some people will see it with the timing and everything. Some people will see it the way that I maybe initially saw it he's being blamed, and then that will get people's back up as well.
Maybe it was just me. I don't know.
That didn't make it better. Did that make it better? Did I ever make it go away? Okay, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can do something here. Let me see what's going on with my audio. Roadcaster 2.
Why does this thing only have 800 views?
Hasn't caught up yet, or someone just hasn't refreshed his.
I think this is a sub clip. Let me see. Is this better?
30 seconds, yeah.
Why that demand and why then? I guess.
Yep.
I can start on it. We don't feel like Dave Castro and later in the document we say these are not the only changes, right? But we don't feel that Dave Castro and the rest of the sport team have taken concerns seriously from athletes for years and engaged in a meaningful way, whether that's safety or otherwise.
They haven't taken their concerns serious. We don't know what those are still, and they haven't engaged in a serious way. Okay?
Right. And so trust is broken down to a point where...
Trust is broken down. Trust. There's the use of the word trust.
We feel like all the things that need to happen for this sport to become better, and safety being obviously, the first one of those things, the relationship between athletes and the sport team, and with Dave Castro as the head of the sport team and the head of that culture, it's going to be extremely challenging to make those changes because, the best indicator of future behavior is past behavior.
The best behavior of future behavior is past behavior. By the way, I didn't know that the number one issue of making the sport better was safety. I'd never heard that before. That's the first time I've ever heard anyone say that.
Right. And if you look at, our conversations around just looking for the basic level of, can we have some indication as to the heat we're going to be exposed to so we can prepare safely? right? If that's just pulling teeth and emails back and forth and subversive, and then more information is leaked, or not leaked, but, you know, revealed on independent podcasts or on a.
So he gave something. He said heat. So that's the thing. He right there. That's that he just basically said we can't even get information about heat. Well, they knew where they were in Texas. They could have checked the fucking Weather Channel. People were talking about the heat nonstop. They knew the events ahead of time that were going to be outside. They knew the times that they were going to be. They could have looked up all of that stuff. I think that's disingenuous. Me personally.
Isn't there a Farmer's Almanac for that?
I'm not talking about years past, but definitely for this year, I think that's disingenuous to say we didn't know about the heat.
Personal YouTube account. It's like this is like a last resort, right? We've been trying to do these things.
I do agree with that. There's no one place it seems to go to get comms from CrossFit, right? It's all over the fucking place. Spin is basically holding down the fort.
We've been trying to improve.
Hey, one thing about the heat comment, just to push back a little bit on that. What if more so he had said heat, but in his mind he was talking about like lengths of events or numbers of events. So essentially like time duration in the heat, which could be a legitimate question on their end, because if they're like, hey, we know how hot Texas is because we did everything you just said. Our curiosity lies with like how many events will actually be outside. Do we know any time duration that will be in the heat?
Right. So
that I would say was a legitimate request.
A 3-minute workout or a 40-minute workout.
Right. And multiple of them. Am I going to be out there twice throughout the day? Am I going to be running a long duration? Am I going to be doing, Isabel?
Those are the 2 events that were announced, though. They announced the swim and the run first, and then they announced the 1,600 meter and the rest in the sprint. Like those are the first 2 that they announced, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like,
and so they could have done, you're saying they could have done the math on it, Bill. The swim is going to be 40 minutes to an hour, and the other one's going to be 20 minutes.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
And to the point about the podcast here too, if that was the case, we already talked about there's no central location for comms. So as an athlete, like if you're kind of going everywhere for information a little bit too, and there was the fact that David said, hey, you're only going to be outside for that one event, 99% of it's going to be inside. That would answer the question. But at the same time, if that information isn't distilled down into a central place, like you can't expect these athletes to like follow every, piece of content just because Dave's on it, if there's going to be relevant information or not as well too.
Right.
So I do think that there could be some sort of way to distill down
improvement there. Yeah. And
important information. And that's just going to come down to communication, which
even on their own Instagram, having it pinned at the top.
Well,
exactly.
And they made like Pat made a good point about like the V-ups. Like, okay, what do you want it to look like? Show us what a good rep looks like. Show us what a no rep looks. I mean, that's basic stuff. You go to the most local level competition, and they will have on their Instagram, here's what it is. Here's what it looks like. Here's the things we allow. Here's what we don't allow. It doesn't take much to do that. And as far as like what they've said, and this is what's so crazy is, cool, talk about the movement standard. Talk about what your burpee is going to look like, or your V-up is going to look like, or the fact that like, okay, you're going to have this race that's going on. Those are all great, but it doesn't. It's like this weird all-encompassing, like tell us everything about everything. Right. They say that they don't want that, but then it's like then they do want that, because if you're going to talk about V-ups and you're going to talk about handstand push-ups and you're going to talk about, I mean those other types of like movement standards, cool. That has nothing to do with safety protocols, and V-ups and what are you going to do if I'm drowning are 2 totally different. Like there's a lot of information there,
And we've heard tons of athletes say they do not want to know the workouts because then everyone starts doing the workouts and it leads to injury, which is.
Well, I was glad that Pat said that. I was glad that he said that that's an important part of the sport. Like, cool, man. Like, thank you for saying that, because that's true.
Hey, everything you were saying about the standard, like the movement standard, especially here, which again is just a missed opportunity from HQ's portion. But like, imagine if all of a sudden they set up a playlist and they were like, here's the standards for the CrossFit Games of 2024. And it was just a whole library of movements they may or may not be using in the standard in which they expect it, recorded by like what we have from James Hobart and Julie Fouché. Right? Because now all of a sudden you have this huge traffic of everybody wanting that information, including the athletes, right? You could make it exciting because there's a new twist to a movement. You're going to give detail on it inside that library. Now it's also a marketing thing because you've shared it all publicly. All of us now understand and know the standard. We all have a chance to talk about it or process it. More information for us pundits, right? and you've streamlined communication. And what I'm hearing here is like, is it so much the frustration with safety as much as that we have a frustration with communication, and we know that that could lead to some potential exposure to more safety issues?
Yeah, and as far as like that
But
list,
once again, we're just
IFA has
speculating.
that.
We're just
IFA
speculating.
already has that whole thing.
Right.
Yeah. And again, we were just
Gotta look at the
speculating.
living document. Yeah.
We have no idea because they won't tell us because they're not doing their job.
And for all
hey,
I know, CrossFit did do that, and I don't have that information.
right. And let me be very clear here too. My stance on these PFAA guys is that they should be bringing shit to the table. They shouldn't be demanding shit from CrossFit. So I'm on a totally different mindset than them. I'm all about make yourself fucking crazy valuable so that they have to have you. And what's that look like? I've said it a million times. They knew it was a swim event, put out a sheet of paper to every single athlete, say, bring Listerines, bring clear goggles. Here's what you should do with your swim cap. Make sure if you have issues with swimming or anything, you ask for a special lifeguard. Demand that there's at least 10 lifeguards before you go in the water. Like, make your list and hand it out to all the athletes. It's very simple. And then that would make yourself invaluable to the athletes, and you wouldn't have to demand anything from anyone else. You'd be in control of what you're in control of.
Do you think that they have brought things to the table? They're just not telling everybody that they did bring things to the table?
Yeah, I'm sure they've brought things to the table. I'm sure that I've seen a list somewhere, but it's just ridiculous. It's like cut the rope or space the bars out, or just shit that obviously CrossFit's doing or moving forward on, or they've said, fuck you, that's not necessary, you're wrong. But it's
so
nothing.
They should say that, right?
Pardon me?
So they should say that, like, hey, we brought these things to the table, and these are the changes that we've helped to make. You know?
Yeah, but instead of demanding more, when they're failing one way, coming in one door, they should just come in the other door where they have infinite control because so many athletes respect Brent and Pat.
And I imagine they do. Like, they've been around for a very long time.
Right. Ton of people respect them. Yeah.
Professional.
But they're spending this equity of their reputation, just their reputation, against Dave's with nothing else. That's all they've come to the table with. And they went to the public with it, and so here we are. They've asked for the public of. They put this in the public of court opinion. Court of public opinion.
And if the athletes don't trust the person like responsible for the sport,
if you don't trust, just keep remembering this word. If you don't trust, this seems to be a really important word to Brent. This trust word. This trust one's important. I think maybe I lost the caller. Hold on.
Oh, shit.
Oh, darn. Hi. Go ahead.
Ron, talking about the safety sport, I'll bring my expertise from my field of work. My company works on a bunch of third-party sites. In terms of safety, if one of our workers goes to a third-party site, they have to get briefed on the safety regulations of that company's site. So there's a binder for each company we work with a list of safety instructions. Anytime that there's an accident, injury, near miss at a site, some new policy comes out, it gets recorded, and we have to retrain our guys. So each time an incident happens, there's a policy. We talk to our guy, did you follow a policy? If they didn't, we retrain them on what that policy is. If it's something that there wasn't a policy for, a new policy gets created. So I think what Brent and Pat were trying to get at, there's a CrossFit rule book, but in that rule book, there's nothing relating to safety based on past events and what can be done to prevent them. The example they used was, who was it that blew their knee out on a wet platform when they were doing a max lift? Well, in the rule book, there should be something along the lines of weather. We're not going to do max lifts outside in the rain. We'll do those inside, or we'll tweak the workout so that there's an incident and there's something in the rule book that addresses it going forward safety-wise. So for them, someone passed away at a work site. CrossFit had said, temporarily, we're going to stop doing swimming events. Okay, that's the first step. And then the next step would be CrossFit saying, our policy going forward is if there is this open water swim, we're going to have X number of lifeguards, X number of this, X number of that. And the athletes don't feel like they're getting that communication.
Very, very sound advice. And if they're not getting that communication, do you think the next step is, and you're the Professional Fitness Association, do you think the next step is to ask for Dave to be fired, or to hand them a pamphlet that says, hey, guys, here's some things to know for lifting events. 1, is your platform dry?
I think, yeah, of course. I think that's their frustration, is that they've done that and not getting it back again.
No,
we
no.
haven't
I
been
mean
at
to the
meetings,
athletes.
but you're
I mean to
right.
offer it to the they should offer it to the athletes also. Like if they can't get their foot in the door, what I'm saying is, let's say that is true. Let's say they told CrossFit, hey, we don't want any events happening with any moisture on the floor anymore, right? And CrossFit's like, fuck you. Well, then they should pass that out to the athletes. Hey, bring a rag out to the floor. Even if they don't, listen, even if CrossFit does do something, they should be also providing this to the athletes. They're the Professional Fitness Athlete Association.
And I think they could. They could say, hey.
Yeah. It's where they have control. It's where they have power. They should hire you too. Did I lose you? All right, fine.
Do we know that they didn't? How do we know they didn't do that?
We don't.
Oh.
The other thing you have to be careful on certain events like that. You can't say swim event equals X number of lifeguards, because depending on the distance that you're traveling, like if you're only going 200 meters, you might not need that many lifeguards, as opposed to 1,000 meters where you're going to have your athletes spread out all over the place. It's a lot more fatigue. I mean, so like that's going to be dependent. But you could say something like, okay, we'll have a lifeguard every 25 meters or something. I mean, like you can come up with something, but it's like, because of the sport, the way that it's set up, it's always going to be a little bit different based on whatever is happening, whether it's a heat thing, whether it's a distance thing, whether it's a duration thing. Like there's going to be a lot of variability to that. So you can't just say, like on a burpee, you need to make sure that your chest hits the deck and you jump up and everything's in line every single time. Right?
Okay, let me play a little bit more of this.
And dealing with their concerns, you know, what left is there? What is there left, right? And so it's certainly not like, it's not a knee-jerk reaction to specifically the death of Lazar, but if that's not a
okay, so we understand that they feel that there's been some trust broken, and they want to get past that. Caller, and so
Yeah.
that's their reason for posting it online. Basically, they want to take action now because there's no trust and there's shitty communication. Caller, go ahead.
I want to go back to your towel on like the moisture comment.
Yeah.
Do you think a reason that they don't do that today is because there are athletes actively competing and that might be a competitive advantage?
Possibly. I mean, I had thought of that, which then, you know, that puts Brent and Pat in a very interesting place. I've also saw Pat. I also saw Brent, what I believe he was doing, and I wish I could pull up an example, and I apologize to Brent for saying this without being able to pull up an example, but I feel like when it's he toggles back and forth in the interview between PFAA president and athlete, depending on what suits him for the question. You know, so sometimes he'll be like, well, I'm just an athlete. How would I know? And then I'm like, well, wait a second. I thought you were here representing the PFAA. So I think he toggles back and forth, and, you know, yeah, he's in a weird situation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd also be curious, as you guys watch the whole interview or kind of analyze it, I was trying to think of Brent and Vellner obviously prepared for this in advance. I'd be curious to know y'all's takes at the end of it.
I don't think they did.
You don't think so?
It didn't seem like it to me. Wouldn't you have come, like, you have this platform, it's going to be the first time you speak. Wouldn't you have had a couple just things for people just to chew on and be like, fuck, they have something?
Perhaps. The reason I think that they thought about it beforehand is they seem to have signals to each other of who would own what types of questions.
Oh,
but
okay.
I couldn't pick out what those areas of like expertise, quote unquote, were. But I do think there was some sort of like, these type of questions will go to you, I'll handle these type of questions. But I couldn't quite decipher where those lines were drawn, but it did seem like there was some signals.
I suspect, speculating, that Pat hasn't been as involved as Brent, and now Pat's really amped up because of the death of his friend, and he's been brought in closer as, you know, another 700,000 or however many followers Pat has on Instagram.
Yeah, that could be the case. Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
That was my thoughts.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Hey, Sevon, can you wish my dad a happy Father's Day? Australia, his birthday is this Thursday. His name is Sam. Happy birthday, Sam. Happy birthday. You have a great kid, great son, great daughter, great someone.
Family chicken.
Graciano Rubio, make this quick, guys, because I don't want to fall into this hole. Does Souza and Grumler want any of their affiliate fees to subsidize the games, or would they rather that money be allocated towards something else? Souza.
Something else.
Oh, Mr. Grumler.
Yeah, I haven't gotten one member from the games yet. So, yeah.
Okay, so you think
what I want?
you think the
I've only
game
ever
should
wanted
pay
one
for
thing,
itself
it's the
through
media.
tickets and TV deals and sponsors?
I want a commercial during some big sporting event that is not CrossFit. That's what I want.
Okay. All right. Now I want to play you the clip. I want to play you the clip. Where is it?
Hey, while you're getting that up, dude, I think the greatest idea, and I wish they would have thought of it this way, was if them as the group tell the athletes, hey, this thing is coming up. You guys should all be make sure you guys wipe down your platform with a towel. Make sure you guys all do that. Like, all taking care of their own that way. I mean, I understand that, like, you want the event to do that, but if they are seeing that it's not happening, do that. Because if I was a coach for one of my athletes out there, I would be telling them, make sure you take a towel out there. Make sure when you're on this run and you're going around the lap and you have time, put a cold water bottle out there so you can dump it on your head as you're running around. Something.
So who does that responsibility?
Take care of your own.
Yeah, who would that responsibility lie with then?
Well, I mean, if the PFAA is looking to protect the athletes, so that all the athletes are, I mean, we're looking at safety, or we're looking at like safety, or at least understanding of whatever it is that they're supposed to be doing. If like what Sevon's saying, you have your
I
list.
think it falls on CrossFit.
Hey guys, make sure you guys bring your Listerine. Make sure you guys bring your a newsletter, a something. I think that's cool. That's like the underground version of like Gary V type stuff. Like I'm putting free information out, and I'm going to get following because of that. And everyone's going to be like, you know what, you guys are huge.
That's
you guys really have
this whole fucking podcast.
Yeah. Which is a cool, I mean, it's a really cool way to think of it that way. It's a guerrilla warfare way of building your brand, building your respect.
So then ultimately it would lie with the athletes, because from the athletes birthed the PFAA, because they recognized there was an issue and they recognized that they had to ultimately be responsible for the issues if CrossFit wasn't going to be, right?
By the athletes, for the athletes, right?
Yeah.
Caller, hold on one second. Kate Kramer, they did bring up a good point about there not being a way to rest during the swim like there is for every other event. We have known since the ocean days that if they ask for help or grab a buoy. So let me tell you what when I was closer, more intimate with the CrossFit Games, you were allowed to grab a paddle board. The second you grab the paddle board, the person on it would say, do you need help being rescued? And they would tell them this in the briefing. And if the person said yes, that would be it. You would be done. If you said no, then they would say, okay, you have to start swimming again, or else you're going to lose time or get DNF'd or something. But you were allowed to grab it and communicate. Now, I don't know how this year's was briefed. I do not know. And in all fairness, it doesn't even look like there were any paddle boards close enough for them to grab. I'm not even arguing that point. So everyone chill. But that's the way it was in the past, that you could grab and you got a warning, and then you could let go and you could grab again. You got another warning. There was no limit to the warnings you could get, as I recall, from back when they were swimming in the ocean. Caller, hi.
Hey, how are you, Sebby? Robin here from Australia.
Hi.
How are you, man?
Are you naked? Are you naked? You Australians are you naked with the Fosters in your hand?
Hi.
Not yet. I'm
right.
walking down the street. I'm watering my lawn.
Okay.
Just to advance on Bill's point, Lazar made it pretty clear in the Burry Bros video that he had no intention to wear the swim cap, which was obviously provided to him for safety. I guess my question would be, what other safety things did he choose to disregard?
Yeah. Worth noting. Worth noting, right? And that goes back to what Fikowski said: how you behave in your past is how you're going to behave in your future.
Yeah, and Brent was going on about factory workers wearing hard hats in factory. Well, one of his team, one of his boys was told to wear a swim cap, and he just disregarded it. Did he talk to all the athletes and say, make sure you wear your swim cap guys.
Yeah.
I do think the swim cap thing for safety is interesting because they wanted bright colors so you could see them, but they're the only people in the water. They're the only people doing that one thing. So it's not like, who else are we looking at? And there wasn't even a differentiation between like if I was a broadcaster when I'm talking, okay, well, I'd want to see a number or I could see a color or whatever, and I can't see any of that stuff. You know what I mean? So I didn't really understand the point of needing to have a cap anyway, and to make it even be a big deal. Visibility for lifeguards? No, man. Like the lifeguards are close to them, and a pink cap, doesn't denote someone in trouble or not in trouble. They're the only people in the water that you're looking at. Only people. Lazar wasn't missed because he didn't have a cap on. You know?
Well, if you'd asked them to wear a life vest or a flotation thing, but they just said, no, I'm getting rid of that. It's going to slow me down.
Well, they probably wouldn't have been able to do that. I really do like what the NorCal Classic is doing, tying those buoys. So, like, if you go under and you're just kind of like bobbing there, it kind of holds you. They're like, man down, and they come scoop
Well,
you up.
either that or you can land on it. I mean, they did that in Dubai too. You had because they didn't have the straps. They actually had to hold the buoy, which was silly.
I'm sure we'll have those going future. I'm sure next year at the games when they're swimming in the ocean, Dave will have them wear the buoys.
Which is
all right,
fine.
caller. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Get to the.
It was nice being blessed by Australian voice. By the way, the first guy that I got disconnected with, I did not hang up on him. Okay, I wanted to play you guys this clip. Here we go. This is on a Southwest flight. You're gonna love this, Caleb. You're gonna absolutely fuck. Have you guys seen this?
Hell yeah.
Have you seen this, Caleb?
No, I haven't. I can't wait.
This is absolutely fucking amazing. Southwest passenger has meltdown over a crying baby. This is unfucking believable. Here we go.
Southwest Airlines passenger had the most insane freak out after a baby on the plane was crying for 40 minutes, and so he started screaming at the baby. When airline staff confronted him, he said this.
We are in a fucking tin can with a baby in a goddamn echo chamber, and you want to talk to me about being okay? Okay, because you're yelling. So is the baby. Okay, so did that motherfucker pay extra to yell? Okay.
The airline staff let him know that if he kept acting like this, they needed to do an emergency landing and kick him off the plane. And he said that the only reason he was getting in trouble and not the baby was because the baby was white. Listen to this.
No.
And after repeated warnings, he never calmed down, forcing them to make an emergency landing in Orlando. And after that, security came on the plane and he refused to get off, leading them to deboard the entire plane just to remove him. Now, once they got him off the plane, he argued with security that he had the right to yell at the baby, just like the parents had the right to bring a crying baby onto the plane. However, security wasn't buying it. So they said, hey, we need to leave you in Orlando and the flight's going to take off without you. Now, while I'd agree that he has every right to get upset that a crying baby is on his plane, it's up to him to control his emotions because the baby can't. And with how mind-bogglingly cheap noise-canceling headphones are becoming nowadays, it's hard to have sympathy for him, especially when you consider airlines are just a form of public transportation. Well, that's my opinion. If y'all want to stay up to date on the latest news, make sure to follow.
Was that a headphones ad?
We're in a fucking tin can, and there's a fucking baby in here. Holy shit! I like that.
I don't blame him.
I like the fat white lady next to him.
Oh,
she's like, oh man.
You think that's his wife or something?
Oh, for sure.
Embarrassing.
Let me tell you something where me and Pat and Brent agree. If you fucking are upset that there's a baby crying on a plane, get the fuck off the plane. We were all babies at one time. You need to they should have beat that fucking guy.
How do you think they got him off the plane, dude?
You think the parents fucking want the baby to be crying? They're stressed to the fucking max.
Especially with that guy going off the rails like that. Right now they're like, oh my God, I am the worst person on the planet. That is the last person that they want to be.
And dude, we see you fucking the ugliest woman in the world. You are totally capable of fucking listening to a baby cry.
Yeah, Olivia, absolutely not. I do not. She did not like her boobs.
I don't even like her boobs.
See? Thank you.
Oh my God.
Don't even get me started.
Oh my God. I can't believe they deboarded the plane. I mean, that's crazy. That deserves a beating, right?
Okay. You would deserve a straight jacket for that one for sure.
Okay. The John Young clip the other day that Spin made was absolutely brilliant. Zoomed in on John's face, right? Just at the right time. Tyler was on point. He's like, no, go with you don't watch it. Not you don't like the way they look. I mean, the whole thing was insane, right? I mean, it was like choreographed. It was like a skit.
It was good.
This shit is fucking chaos right here. Have you guys all seen this?
Yeah.
I
How many times have you watched it, Bill?
3.
Yeah, I got like 6 views on it. I brought my wife over. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Caleb, have you watched it?
Yes, quite a few times.
Holy shit, this is fucking chaos.
I wish Hillary would have put like, you could have put some really awesome music to this. And it would have like amped it up even more.
Like Benny Hill music?
No, just like like
Shining music?
old school like detective movie, like dun dun dun. The eyes are like flashing back and forth, touching grass. You know?
Oh, this is crazy. Okay. Here we go. This is from HillerFit 2.0. Crossed over 80,000 fucking angry followers. I mean, happy followers.
Well, that Don and Dave met with you, or like the Royal U, like the PFAA, like a couple of months ago. There was like a sit down or something. Is that accurate or is that not accurate? That there was like some meeting in California or something that everybody sat down and went over stuff.
A few months before the games?
Yeah, like start of the summer, I think was what I heard. But I don't know if it's accurate or not. But
I mean, we were at semifinals in California, and I wasn't at a meeting.
Okay.
Was there one after semis that I had flown home for?
I mean, not anything related to anything about the games.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yeah.
Have they always been emails? Like, has it always been email back and forth, or has there ever been, or maybe like online calls or whatever? Has there ever been actual sit down at a table discussion, or has it always been like an email and a reply, or a group call and then a phone call maybe or something? Or has there ever been like a table meet?
Oh, sorry, I lost focus there.
Oh my
Pat?
God.
Oh, he's not dead.
No, he's okay. He's
I'm
back.
sorry. I have to plug in my computer.
Okay. Oh, that should. Hold on. I need to. Sorry, I'm gonna get some water here too. This went far longer than I had expected. You'll hear me.
Yeah,
I'm not peeing.
Sorry. So you're asking if it had been primarily emails or things like that in the past?
Yeah.
Or
Is
if
it
with the games team? It's generally been scheduled calls that are like video calls like this. There have been a couple of in-person meetings, not full ones with the full team. We've had a couple, I think I've had an informal meeting with Don before. It's hard to get people all together for in-person meetings.
That's the thing. I think it would speak to
right?
it would speak to how seriously it's being taken, I guess. If there was sit down meetings, like in my mind, if someone emails me back, I'm like, all right, like they're kind of semi-interested in what I'm saying. If someone organized a call, I'm like, all right, they're kind of interested, like pretty interested. If someone wants to actually physically meet in person, I'm like, all right, they're in, I got them. So like, I think that's what I'm trying to gauge is like, is there?
We wanted to do that, right? We were given verbal indication that was going to happen right around before and after during the 2023 games, and then like we said, it just never did. And we kept, hey, how's it going? When are we gonna?
Yeah.
I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. And I need to go back to work for the American people.
I heard as well that
wow.
Like I'm sweating right now. My armpits are sweating. That makes me nervous watching that whole thing.
Wow.
Jeez.
Oh man. Oh man.
This is Brent's head during that whole thing.
Oh man. Here's the deal.
Yep.
I'm being disingenuous in a few things I'm about to say. So bear with me here. It's to protect myself. Call me biased or Brian enemy or whatever you want, but I'm being disingenuous.
That's rude.
It is rude, purposely so. I think that when Pat gets up there, I think that his fucking he really needs to get his charger. And I think that when Pedro asked that question, he hit some fucking crazy nerve on Fikowski. Something fucking happened there. And Fikowski turned off for a minute and he went inside his head. And I think he said for 5 seconds he went in his head. And I think he's fiddling with his phone. And it's weird that he went and got a glass of water. And this is in the public of court opinion. And like their letter. And what's crazy is this would have just passed, but Pat brought it back up, which makes me think that Pat's completely fucking oblivious to what's going, that Fikowski's having a fucking freak out. And we all
texted him? You think he texted him off camera?
I would have to do it in real time to see if I could do it that fast. I'm not sure, but
all you gotta do is WTF, right? WTF.
But this is me looking at my phone. But something definitely happened there to where Fikowski disappeared. He was processing stories that weren't going to comport. Would be my guess. More than my guess. But then I didn't even see this now that I'm watching with you guys. He doubles down. So first he avoids the question by saying, we didn't meet about games related stuff in person. So that's the joke about Bill Clinton. I came on her dress and I put a cigar in her pussy, but I didn't have sexual relationships with her. Remember, that was his defense.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's avoiding answering the question by saying it wasn't about the games. But then he doubles back and says, we've been wanting to meet with them. And if it was really weird that Pat said, did I fly home for that meeting? Like, that's just a garbled sentence that Pat spit out, right? That doesn't that didn't even make sense. But I think Pat's picked up on something. Pat picked up on something, which I flew home and missed that meeting, or I flew home for the meeting, whatever he said, it didn't comport. Did that comport for you guys? It's the same thing when Fikowski said, is Pat dead? That was like a short circuit too. What do you mean, is Pat dead? Yeah, to be fair, Pat notoriously leaves early morning after comps. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I think that they both probably want to get back to their families. But a bunch of us watched this and we were like, what the fuck just happened there? The whole show fucking got derailed and something happened there. So the question is the guy who can not stop talking about trust and not getting communications, did he meet with them? And if he did meet with them, why is he hiding it from us? And why is he hiding it from Pat Vellner?
Aren't they the two heads of the PFAA?
And that's why I speculated in the beginning of the show that Pat wasn't really involved with the PFAA go back 2 years, but now all of a sudden they're, you know what I mean? It's like they're all of a sudden they're friends, so he could have another howitzer to point at fucking HQ, CFHQ. You don't hear that often, CFHQ, HQ. And who knows? I wonder what Pedro's thinking. I gotta talk to Pedro. I wonder if he was like, what the fuck's going on with my show? I wonder if like if that happened on my show, I probably wouldn't pick up on it.
When I first watched it live, I thought they were just like, we're just over the conversation. They were just like, they just got conversation fatigue. They were like, okay, shit, this is still going on. We're kind of losing steam here.
It's like that comedian who was called his mom in the middle of the show. It was like that. It was just like, yeah, whatever. Hey, mom.
Dude, I was fine with it until he doubled down and he said, I'm sorry, I lost focus for 5 seconds. I was like, oh shit. Like, dude, like you lose focus.
He got a really long stare for a second.
When you're stoned out of your fucking mind and some chick just sent you some nudes and then you take a shit and your phone's out there and your fucking girlfriend's out there in the room, you fucking are like disappear in your head for 5 seconds. You know what I mean? Like you're paranoid as fuck.
was wondering how you're going to tie that together.
You're like, oh shit, I didn't bring my phone in the bathroom. My bitch is going to see I cheated on her. I mean, that's what I saw. I'm
Text message from Delilah. Ding, 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 ding.
I didn't like it, but this is the problem because, or not the problem. This is the situation. This thing's come to the public of court opinion. You put demands. You put some pretty gnarly demands. Fire Dave Castro. You guys all know. Stop saying I'm biased. You all know I'm fucking biased. I'm not a liar, but I am biased, and I see something here. Something's weird. Mr. PFAA, who talks about trust, and he brought fucking Pat onto the show, and they're missing. Pat doesn't know what the fuck's going on. He lied to his right hand man on the fucking biggest show of PFAA's career. The Tony Tone, Brent looked like he hasn't slept and was tired as fuck because his baby was probably awake the whole night. That is true. He did cry he had a breakdown during the show, and he said he's tired and hasn't been getting a lot of sleep. I agree. But that doesn't mean that wasn't like he was standing on one foot and fucking Pedro went and fucking he toppled. Sorry, Sousa. I mean to throw you back on your mic.
That's good. Shocking. Okay, well, let's play out the scenario. Let's say they did have a meeting, the three of them, Brent, Dave, and Don. So, maybe they're just homies.
Totally.
They just sat down for some scrambled eggs, and he was like, maybe he was thinking in his mind, like, shit, this would qualify, but like it wasn't an official capacity, so I don't know what to say here. And I was the trust guy, so now should I say something about the meeting, which is going to sound really weird and sketchy, especially because Pat doesn't know about it, but it wasn't in an official capacity, and we didn't talk. You know what I mean? Or if you want to get real crazy, what if there was some sort of like job offering or something, and they knew that this might have been Brent's last year coming into it? So there's some sort of meeting and a fact of like, hey, we're going to set this up. We're going to have an athlete council, which is going to help advise us on some stuff. We want to offer you the job for it afterwards. And he can't really blow the load on that conversation. And they didn't obviously have the foresight of what was going to take place at the games. So it throws a whole entire wrench into this deal. And maybe Dave Castro said no. And now this is his chance.
I'm sorry,
to get him out of there for once.
Sorry, it disappeared in my head for 5 seconds. I was reading this comment from Miriam on tour. Are you saying that?
I even brought you the chimes for the punchline.
I know. Are you saying that? But I like that. That's interesting. But let me just remind you that it's the same with the NDA question. I was tripping on too. Have you ever been given anything? You would know if you've signed an NDA before. You would know if you met with Don or Dave. I don't care if it was friendly at the park to play squash to whatever. I would even give those more weight. Like, that's why the Bill Clinton thing is so funny. You fucking stuck a cigar in a White House intern, and she has a dress with your semen on it. I don't even know how that got there. Mary, everyone wants Brent to be more transparent. I don't, just so you know. So everyone but me. And then he cries on the podcast, and everyone thinks he's fake. I don't think he's fake. I think that those tears were genuine, and I saw it sway the comments too. I'm not talking about that. What I'm not talking about is crying. I'm talking about the fact that he said that he's never met with them, and I'm called bullshit on it. I think he has met with them, and I don't think fucking Brent. I don't think Pat Vellner knows about it, and that's a fucking huge red flag. Because what the fuck would they have to hide? 20% off the Exerciser, by the way. CrossFit 20.
Oh, I had it perfectly.
Oh,
placed.
sorry.
He did say. Well, he didn't say that they didn't.
Okay. Well, fuck those people. Fuck those people. His crime was real.
Well, it wasn't. Well, it wasn't about game stuff. It was right after the semis. Well, it wasn't about game stuff. Like, there is nothing else that they would be talking. Whether it's standards, whether it's something. I mean,
I don't see
what would it take?
I don't see how that's relevant. To be honest with you, I don't see how that's relevant what you talked about or didn't talk about. You're saying that you don't get to meet with these guys. It would be even more. What were you guys playing racquetball? Because now I think you guys are really tight.
That's what should have been said right there. But I don't think he was ready to process that information to be able to say something. Like he saw him, he glitched, and all he had was, well, it wasn't about the game stuff.
And when
And
we
that's all he could come up with. So okay, so basically you don't want to tell us what it was, because if you're trying to prove your point, then you want to say exactly what it was.
Right.
No, I did meet with him, but this is what we talked about, and lay something else out. But I think it caught him so off guard that he just wasn't ready to think about that on the fly.
He said he didn't meet with them about game stuff. But then remember what he said after that too.
And what would game stuff even be?
He then goes on. Watch this. Oh, sorry.
There was like a sit down or something. Is that accurate or is that not accurate? That there was like some meeting in California or something that everybody sat down and went over stuff.
A few months before the games.
That part's off.
Yeah, like start of the summer, I think was what I heard. But I don't know if it's accurate or not. But
I mean, we were at semifinals in California, and I wasn't at a meeting.
Oh,
that's a weird. So just so you know, I know Dave was at the West Coast Classic, and then I know he went to Knoxville.
Okay.
Was there one after semis that
And Don was at the West Coast Classic too, and Knoxville also, I'm pretty sure. And then he laughs and says, "This is the weird line
I had flown home for."
Was there a meeting I had flown home for? No, there was your wife and your kid you flew home for.
I mean, not anything related to anything about the games.
Okay, so that's that line. That's that line. But wait, he brings.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Have they always been emails? Like, has it always been email back and forth, or has there ever been, or maybe like online calls or whatever? Has there ever been actual sit down at a table discussion? Or
text message?
Yeah, looking at his phone. Yeah.
Has it always been like an email and a reply, or a group call and then a phone call maybe or something? Or has there ever been like a table meet?
Oh, sorry, I lost focus there. Is Pat? Oh, he's not dead.
No, he's okay.
I'm sorry. I have to plug in my computer.
Okay. Oh, that should. Hold on.
And now he can respond because he has to go get water.
I need to. Sorry, I'm gonna get some water here too. This went far longer than I had expected. You'll hear me.
Yeah,
I'm not peeing.
Sorry. So you're asking if it had been primarily emails or things like.
And Brent's hating Pat now for bringing this back up.
Yeah, it was almost.
Yeah,
gone.
is it
with
What?
I said it was almost gone.
Yeah, almost gone. Yeah.
the games team? It's generally been scheduled calls that are like video calls like this. There have been a couple of in-person meetings, not full ones with the full team. We've had a couple, I think I've had an informal meeting with Don before. It's hard to get people all together for in-person meetings.
That's the thing. I think it would speak to the.
Right?
It would speak to how seriously it's being taken, I guess. If there was sit-down meetings, like in my mind, if someone emails me back, I'm like, all right, like they're kind of semi-interested in what I'm saying. If someone organized a call, I'm like, all right, they're kind of interested, like pretty interested. If someone wants to actually physically meet in person,
Now here it comes. Here's where fucking Fikowski fucking doubles down on the lie.
I'm like, all right, they're in, I got them. So like, I think that's what I'm trying to gauge is like, is there?
We wanted to do that, right? We were given verbal indication that was going.
So we wanted to do that. We were given verbal indication. He's already said it didn't happen. Hold on. I'm looking at my phone.
Oh, sorry. Let me go grab my charger real quick.
Bill's got to get some water. Anyway, the comments.
I heard as well that
the comments are crazy. The comments are fucking wild. So what you're saying based off this is that Brent and Pat have been told to lie for CrossFit? No. Or Dave Castro has been lying and Brent and Pat are calling him out? I don't even know how they got that take.
They were at the convention yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Was the PFAA at the... They were at the retard convention.
The gang was all there.
Pat has no idea what's going on. All I know is this proves John Young is right. Vellner's a good dude. Just another attempt to mock the athletes. Yeah, I don't think that's what's going on here. I think that there's I think that when you go on when you listen, guys, I cannot emphasize it enough with my biased, one-sided narrative. If you post demands and one of them is to fire someone who's the longest tenured and most respected leader in the fucking community, it's now we're in the court of public opinion. Here we are. And that's what we're doing. We're looking at this, and I think this is a exhibit A. To be honest, it sounds like Pedro made up a random in-person meeting, and they just have no idea what he's even talking about. It doesn't seem like some conspiracy. I don't even know what you're saying.
I mean, what if he didn't have the meeting?
What if Fikowski? What if this whole there wasn't a meeting?
Yeah, I mean, we are running off the assumption that there was actually a meeting and he's hiding something.
Right.
I mean, for all you know, he didn't think it was going to go that long. Maybe he took a little microdose of some psilocybin and he was like, fuck, this thing's going an hour. I thought it'd be done in 45 and these things are kicking in. Right. You know? Right. I need some fucking water, bro. I'm freaking out.
Right.
We don't know.
Right. Because
if it was, I mean, if that's the case, then talk about great journalism, because it's like, okay, I'm gonna see how you bluff your hand then. And so he throws it out that this is just what I heard. It may not be factual.
Yeah.
It may not be real.
I heard a rumor.
And then all of a sudden everybody glitched out. Well, if that's the case, either you got two options. Someone's not telling the truth, or someone is microdosing and it just kicked in. So two options.
I mean, yeah, it's like, I mean, we are like really putting it under a microscope and watching those interactions as weird, but we're doing that with the thought of like, he had this meeting and he's not telling us.
If anyone gets Dave or Don anywhere, ask them. I swear to God, Dave was at the Masters event today. If you see him tomorrow, just fucking ask him. Just walk right up and be like, hey, have you met with Brent Fikowski in the last 3 months? The one thing that's really weird to me was when Pat says, did you meet at the semifinals? Was there a meeting at the semifinals? That part like triggered me too. I was like, wait a second. Pedro's better than Sevan. Oh, he's so good.
Crushed it.
I let you know right now, if they did meet, I don't care. Like, if they met if they were peeing next to each other in a stall, I'm going to give Brent a pass. But if they went somewhere with a scheduled time and a scheduled place to meet, all bets are off. That's a fucking meeting. He fucking lied. And back to the third party investigator and like PFAA, just go away.
Well, let's put ourselves in Brent's shoes. Like, what motivation would he have to lie about that meeting?
The only thing
Friendship.
I can think of. What?
Friendship.
Because like he didn't tell Pat about it or something.
Yeah, maybe he didn't. He did. Maybe he had it, and then he just didn't want to tell Pat about it because I don't know, just cause. And then now he's just holding in this lie that he's.
But why did he lie in the first place to Pat?
Dude, I don't know.
Right.
Why do your kids tell you that they didn't fucking eat the dirt outside?
Right.
Because they fucking didn't eat the dirt, dude.
Well, that's just the question, right? What motive would he have to lie, right?
I don't know.
Maybe it has something to do with the PFAA, because he's a board member, right? And if he goes in and goes, okay, well, maybe instead of waiting to get all the people on board, I'm gonna go solo and I'm gonna talk to them. Or maybe they'll only talk to me. They don't want to talk to the whole board, but it's like, hey, maybe just me. But you would have thought that at some point he would have said something to his board. Hey, I met with them about this. Or even if he was to say, I met with them, I can't tell you what it's about yet. But I wanted to otherwise.
Yeah, well, the motive that I
talked about, by the way, as long as they fucking met with a time and place, It's a fucking lie to me. No, it makes the PFAA look silly if they met because he's created this narrative of how it's so hard to communicate with HQ. Yeah. And Pedro even lays it out like, hey, face-to-face makes oh, maybe they went to Epstein's Island. God, I hope not. I really don't want Dave. Dave, you're on your own, buddy.
Yikes.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're claiming because of his position with the PFAA, any meeting with like figureheads of the sport of CrossFit is now in an official capacity because of his self-elected position as the head of the PFAA, especially on an in-season time when it's at before, after semifinals, but on the train to the games. So if he doesn't acknowledge that meeting, regardless of what the meeting was about, you're saying that's the breach of trust now that is happening.
It's disingenuous that it's hard to meet with them. Unless he's gonna be like, yeah, I met with them and they tried to take me to a strip club and it made me really uncomfortable and I just didn't want to talk about it. I give him some wiggle room there, I guess.
That'd be an awesome story, I bet.
And I didn't want to dime them out.
Yeah. But that's once in a lifetime. Kick back a few and just see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
I think
I don't think Don is going to a strip club kind of guy by the Orphic House.
He's a Marine, dude. The Marines do crazy shit, man.
Male strip club. Both of them.
Crayon eater, dude.
Hold that thought, Bill.
Yeah.
I had a South African urologist, very, very much of recent Indian descent. Great guy. He said that he was talking with a patient and he told him you need to lose some weight. And the guy was getting dressed and stopped. And he says, you know what? He says, I think you're right. But he goes, let me tell you my problem. It's hard for me to hear I need to lose weight from a doctor as fat as you are. And so the doctor said, he threw him out. Get out of my office. Leave, son of a bitch. And he said about an hour later, he realized he'd made a horrible mistake, an ethical mistake, personal mistake, professional mistake. He even felt unprofessional being fat. And he's, of course he doesn't want to hear from a fat doctor. So he looked up the guy's address and he, after work, went to his house and knocked on the door. He says the dude that answered the door didn't even recognize him. He's like, well, what do you want? You know, he's, I'm your doctor. Oh, shit, you are. He says, I'm sorry. And he says, and what he'd done is before he left, he'd looked up the closest gym to his house and it was a CrossFit gym. Coincidence. And the two of them went to the CrossFit gym together. He says, I fucked up. I'm an asshole. I'm a fat doctor and you're a fat patient. Let's get healthy together. And they went to the gym together and they lost the weight. Let's start with the truth.
Damn.
I had a South African.
Who made it, Souza?
What's that?
Who made it?
Jay made it a while ago.
Fucking A.
So good.
Affiliate fees. Those are probably your affiliate fees spent on that, Bill.
I'll take it. That's fine. Keep pumping those things out. That's where my money should go.
Yeah. That was when black doctors weren't DEIs. That guy actually qualified to go to his medical school.
Good
Just so
job.
you know. Okay. I don't know if there is too much more to examine here. This is going to just throw this in the pile of soap opera. The soap opera. Soap opera?
Yep.
Why do they call it a soap opera, Caleb?
I don't know the answer to that one. Let's find out.
Okay. Thank you. Soap opera. We're going
Tell me start a journey.
Oh shit, I haven't used this in a long time.
Yeah, that was Greg Glassman. It was.
Here we go. Okay. The term soap opera comes from the
panicking. You can't even tell.
Okay, go ahead. It's so deep. Go ahead. Where does the soap opera come from?
soap opera comes from the radio dramas that were originally sponsored by soap manufacturers. It originated in the 1930s. So they used to have radio dramas that were sponsored by Irish Spring or Dole.
You see that? Big soap after
soap,
it again.
That's right.
Causing problems, causing drama. Damn. Who would have thought?
Man, oh man. All right. Anything else you guys want to add to this this fun development that we have?
Last week for the affiliate video contest.
Oh, okay.
So if you guys go there, there's already been a bunch of submissions, but please submit it. There's been tons of people that have downloaded the 2 bumpers. So I know there's lots of people at least that went that far in the step to do it. So make sure you guys get them in within this next week, and then we'll start. We're uploading them on the channel, right?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
I don't know. We need to find a judge to judge them. Probably talk to Chris Cooper about that. Two Brain Business putting up all the money, 5,000 for first, 3,000 for second.
Yep.
2,000 or 1,000. I can't remember for third.
For third, and then because originally you said you and I were the judge, but we knew that we were just going to figure that out later. So
yeah, I already would make the winner Pedro, like one of my friends. I'd make Dave the winner.
Dave. He didn't even submit a video, but here it is.
He's so biased. Stop saying that. Just tell me. Just write in the comments what I'm biased about, and then I'll be like, yeah, you're right or you're wrong. Don't be like, hey, why do you have Dave's cock in your mouth? I mean, it's fun. You can say that, but then be like, because you said this, this, and this, and then it's like, can we talk about how they don't seem to understand that part, or all of their demands might not be met? Yeah, I don't think any of their demands are going to be met. I don't even remember what their demands were besides fire Dave. I don't even think that they know what their demands are.
Transparency, trust, change, safety.
I honestly think they should just be worried about if there's going to be a games next year. That would be I would get back to training. I would work on how you can add value to your colleagues in the sport who compete, and that's what I would do. And why would CrossFit meet any of their fucking demands? That doesn't even. Can you think of a reason why they'd meet any of their demands besides social pressure? You see any bottom line reasons? You see any financial reasons to meet their?
No.
It's fucking private equity.
Well, the other thing too is the position that the athletes are in. It's like you're at the very top of the sport, but the second you are gone, it's like 1 year we talk about your absence, and then the next year it's the next generation has moved into that place. So there's always somebody in line behind you, right? It's like I wrote that comment in Pedro's show about the Jeff Bezos. It's like, you know, they're upset with factory workers or upset with like the conditions that are there, so they try to form a union. Jeff's like, just fuck you guys, I'll just fire all of you. And they're like, well, we make up all this, you know, the operation won't run. And the second they're moved out, new people are moved in. You know, you can't form a union, take it over, and demand that Jeff Bezos be kicked out of Amazon.
Right. Or go to Grid League, or just do Rogue, or just do Wadapalooza, or just do Kill Taylor. It's
Do
like
your local comps like Colton. Go to New Jersey. Fucking beat up on some old people, you know?
Yeah, sell dogs like sell dogs like sell dogs.
Hey, what about this? What if we let people? What are we gonna let people judge?
Oh, maybe the people can judge. Yeah,
maybe that'll have a way on it, like the video with the most views or most likes or most comments.
I'm sweating like a fucking pig. That Fit Aid launched me over the roof.
You're probably gonna look like these people, huh?
Yeah.
Dying to get the Disney rash? No, probably not, but it does happen. Hey everyone, we're plus size perk hoppers, and we range in sizes from 2X to 5X. Make sure you like this video and follow us for more plus size Disney tips and tricks. If you don't know what the Disney rash is, consider yourself lucky. It's also known as exercise-induced vasculitis. It can happen when you're exposed to heat and if you're exercising for a long period of time, which are both super common in Disney World because you can walk between 5 and 10 miles a day. The rash typically appears on exposed parts of your lower legs. It can cause an itching and burning sensation and just be downright uncomfortable. First aid recommended using aloe vera and cortisone to ease the symptoms. We've also seen some people put sunblock on their lower legs to try to prevent it. That's something we're going to try on our next trip. Cooling the area with an ice pack or a cold shower can also provide relief. Lowering your body temperature and elevating your legs are also known to help. We don't all experience Disney rash, but those of us who do come prepared with aloe vera and cortisone in their park bags. It mostly happens in the summer, but
bro, that one in the
can happen
hotel
on
room was
hotter-
crazy.
With the
God damn, meat and fruit.
breathe all year round. We hope that these tips help if you ever find yourself personally victimized by the Disney rash. Have you been dying to get the
I'm personally victimized by this fucking video, bro.
How are there not some other options?
To what?
I don't know. They got aloe vera. They got legs up. What do you mean? They gave like 8 options, dude. What do you mean?
That's it, man.
They gave all the stuff. What are you talking about? There's a whole list.
Oh my God.
They even have
hey,
their goggles on in the pool, bro.
Hey, at least they're not sue Disney for not making the ride closer together.
The Disney Rash is crazy.
That's wow.
It's an amazing thing.
It's Disney's fault for not having moving sidewalks.
That's right.
Hey, thank goodness they don't. That's walking 5 miles a day. That's good.
Josh Irvin, the PFAA gives out a 1-sheeter on the Disney Rash. I mean, dude, this seriously, all kidding aside, this is what the PFAA needs to do. This is a whole fucking Instagram account with advice on let's just try this one.
You ever wanted to wear shorts or a skirt to Disney World, but you were afraid of your legs?
Every time.
Hey everyone, we're plus size park hoppers. We range in sizes from 2X to 5X. Nothing puts a damper on your Disney vacation like
that guy's making fun of them waddling. These chicks are cool, dude.
No, he's just got the Disney Rash on his balls.
having to walk around the parks with Chub Rub. And luckily, we haven't had
Chub Rub. Dude, that is not what Chub Rub is.
Oh, God.
Chub Rub's what we did to our girlfriends from the 8th grade to me till 40.
Chub Rub's when I beat my meat 10 times in a fucking day, bro.
Wow.
Using Dr. Frederick's original Better Body Balm. We've been using it for our last few trips and
Look at that cleavage.
we've fallen in love with it. It's all natural ingredients like beeswax
Damn,
and
she's up in
carnauba.
it. She's up in it.
I told you this show wasn't for everyone. Okay, so this is it. This is the PFAA. I know you're going to think I'm joking. I'm 100% serious. This is a website. This is an Instagram account where all they do is fucking offer advice to fucking 2X to 5X people who go to Disneyland. That's it. I didn't even mean for that. I didn't pull this up. That wasn't even part of the bit, but this is it. That's the bit.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Easy for you to say, Courtney. They should just lose weight. Come on, it's not that easy.
Yeah, bitch.
Damn. It's aggressive after 7:15. Holy smokes.
Oh, fuck. All right.
Plus size park hoppers.
Well, thank you. I probably made $200 on this show, and that'll pay for 3 jiu-jitsu classes. Thank you, Brent and Pat. I hope that I treated you the way I tried to treat you guys, the way I would want to be treated. I'm also ready to tango. I'm also ready to go fucking hard in the paint and play. And you guys want to do this in the court of public opinion, and I'm ready. I'm here for it. And I hope there's no hard feelings. It's cool. I don't care either way. There's people in the comments who are gonna be like, you're a dick or you're a liar or whatever. I'm thoroughly I don't think any of that. So let's just party, keep it going. Your move. More will come out on this. Someone will now listen. Anyone who watches this, just walk up to Dave, ask him if he met with these guys, or Don. If you see Don or Dave anywhere, and ask him. And oh shit, ribeye. Thank you.
Nice.
Oh, dude, nice. Rich. Thank you. That's what's
Thank
up.
you.
Wow.
And then send me a DM so I can break it on the show. Yeah, I don't
think anybody's doing that.
War, it's like more like a tomato fight. I know it's gonna fuck with Fikowski though, and Pat. They're probably not. But you guys don't let it fuck with you. Have fun with it. Just remember though that it is Dave's job that we're playing with. And he's got a family and kids. And so, for one guy, there's something at stake. So just remember that. All right. Love you guys. Anything else? Any closing statements, Caleb? Mr. Grunler, thanks for joining us. Mr. Souza. All right. Don't forget, we will be at NorCal Classic this upcoming week, broadcasting from there, a podcast, doing it behind the scenes. The public is welcome. If you're in the Sacramento area, within a couple hours, you should go. It's going to be a party. It's a good time. And then we'll be ramping up big time. Bill Grunler, John Young, Will Brandstetter, Patrick Rios, and Matt Souza will be going out to Crash. Caleb will be in his motorhome, and I will be here. And you're going out too, Caleb?
Yeah, I'm going to be there Saturday and some of Sunday.
Caleb will be there too. We'll be fucking shit up. Crash is going to be crazy. Both of these events will have Taylor and Colton and probably Tudor Magda going head to head.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna
Hell
be
yeah.
fucking savage.
And
All
you know
right.
it's gonna be dope because JR is programming it too. So
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, always. Okay, love you guys. Bye bye.